What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for stopping by the channel today. I got a little bit of extra for you. It is October 13th, 2021. I am JD from New York, and this is Off the Script. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. I want you guys to Kevin Owens senton bomb that like button, man. We love Kevin Owens around here. We love Kevin Owens on Off the Script. We want to see Kevin Owens in a more prominent role on Monday Night Raw. Wishful thinking, though, but hit that like button. Let's try for 1,000 likes on today's OTS Extra. Hit that subscribe button as well. Turn on the bell for all notifications. If you guys missed any of the content on the channel already, we got the Monday Night Raw post show, the NXT post show. That was yesterday. We got an extra as well yesterday, going over Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan, and his retirement from WWE. He finally revealed why he retired from WWE, only to come back when he did. And we talk about Big E versus Seth Rollins as well, potentially being the first program out of Survivor Series for Big E and the WWE Championship. And today's show, obviously, always sponsored by one of my great partners, Honey. Join honey.com/offthescript. Download the free web browser today and start saving some money with Honey. That is joinhoney.com/offthescript. The big story this week, going into Friday, is going to be the SmackDown versus Rampage feud that has now kind of built itself into something that I didn't really anticipate it building into. And this is because Tony Khan is recognizing that there are problems right now, not really problems with AEW, but problems right now with where Rampage sits. And Tony Khan, he's somebody that I genuinely respect. I've been around this man. I've been within a couple of inches away from Tony Khan as he's spoken to the media, and I've gotten an invitation to the media scrums. You just sense his genuine nature when you're around him. You know he's a fan. You know he loves this. You know he is going to do whatever he has to do to make AEW successful. That's the vibe I get from Tony Khan. The other thing I love about Tony Khan, and I don't want to make this a TK love fest, but he's not afraid to put himself in the general public where he will, and he knows he will, be criticized by fans and the industry. He will recognize mistakes, he will recognize when he's wrong, and he will recognize that things need to be fixed. If we can only wish upon a star and get Vince McMahon to do the same thing, WWE might be in a better place now, creatively, than they are, which right now is fucking atrocious. Vince McMahon would never put himself in that position because we all know Vince McMahon does not want anybody telling him what to do, and he will never admit that he is wrong on anything. He will only go out there and praise himself for the great job that he does, and we all know creatively, WWE right now fucking sucks. It is the worst I've ever seen it, and I've been watching this shit since I was 4 years old. WWE, they raised the stakes on Rampage. They raised the stakes on SmackDown, going an extra 30 minutes. So instead of SmackDown being on FS1 this week because of playoff baseball, we got FS1 SmackDown. We have 8 to 10:30 for SmackDown on FS1. They raised the stakes against AEW. The final 30 minutes will now be commercial-free for SmackDown. And WWE is advertising Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch in the main event of SmackDown on FS1. Also, we will get the King and Queen of the Ring semifinals. Carmella versus Zelina Vega and Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn. I don't know who's going to tune into those overly predictable matches, but there is somebody out there that enjoys the work of Zelina Vega, believe it or not. Sonya Deville will battle Naomi. Brock Lesnar will appear, and we will get the continuation of the Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar storyline coming out of this past week, where Roman Reigns pretty much said he is the suplexorcist against Brock Lesnar, and then we will go into Crown Jewel and have those two square off in what I think will be a great match. Now, on Rampage, we got CM Punk versus Matt Sydal, Ruby Soho versus The Bunny, Inner Circle versus Men of the Year, and I believe that is on Rampage, and it will be live on TNT from Miami, Florida. So WWE's raising the stakes going an extra 30 minutes. So what do you think Tony Khan did? He raised the stakes even more so, like he usually does on WWE, and now he's adding an extra 30 minutes to Rampage, and now there will be a live buy-in to go head-to-head with Friday Night SmackDown on FS1. So this buy-in will be happening on the YouTube channel Friday night at 9 p.m., and that will go into Rampage at 10 o'clock. Tony Khan announced the news during an appearance on WFAN here in New York, Moose and Maggie. So he was on the Moose and Maggie show, the pre-show, which is usually saved for only pay-per-view events, the buy-in. We'll have at least 2 matches featured on the broadcast. Both Bryan Danielson and Bobby Fish will be in singles actions against opponents that were named. So we got Bobby Fish versus Lee Moriarty. Don't know what he's all about. I hear nothing but good things about him, Lee Moriarty. And we got Bryan Danielson versus Suzuki. Minoru Suzuki versus Bryan Danielson on Rampage. And then they go into a live Dynamite the next night on Saturday because it's being preempted today. There's no Dynamite tonight, which means that there will be no off-the-script post-show with Jesse and I. So we got Bryan Danielson versus Minoru Suzuki and Bobby Fish versus Lee Moriarty. And then Bryan Danielson and Bobby Fish will wrestle each other on Dynamite Saturday, live. So Rampage and Dynamite are both live this week. The pre-show will go up against the second hour Friday Night SmackDown on FS1, as noted. SmackDown is 2.5 hours Friday night. The final 30 minutes will be commercial-free. So Tony Khan is recognizing that there is a problem. WWE is recognizing that AEW is competition. I don't give a fuck what you say, internet geek out there. Oh, but they're only trying to show everybody how important it is going into Crown Jewel. They want to pull a good rating ahead of this big show in Saudi Arabia. Yes, but at the same time, they're also recognizing that little old AEW and their little minuscule fucking show on TNT, Rampage, could eventually beat them in the rating because last time we got SmackDown on FS1, nobody fucking watched it. They didn't accumulate more than 900,000 viewers in both times they were preempted in the last couple of years due to the MLB playoffs. Tony Khan is recognizing that there's a problem. WWE is recognizing that there is competition. Tony Khan, and I will admit this, he is a little overbearing at times. He gets a little ahead of himself at times. I think this is a little bit too much. I would prefer that they don't go up against SmackDown because I genuinely feel that he's going to be embarrassed in the end. I do think that SmackDown in the end, after all of this, is going to beat Rampage. And then everybody is going to get on Tony Khan's case. Ha, 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 ha. Tony Khan couldn't beat WWE even though that they were preempted on FS1. And Tony Khan's an idiot. Tony Khan's a loser. AEW is dead. AEW sucks. Tony Khan's a mark. You know it's coming. I would prefer him not to do what he did in regards to this situation. I don't think you should be going up against WWE, let alone SmackDown, right now. Even though you got Bryan Danielson and Minoru Suzuki, I mean, how many people are legitimately going to go out of their way to watch that at 9 p.m. on Friday when we have other things going on that might pique people's interest? Rampage right now is not in a good spot. And this is what I don't understand about people and Rampage. Rampage was only supposed to be an extension of Dynamite that gives opportunities to those that may not be able to get on Dynamite. So I don't know why people expect it to be this ratings monster. Oh, but CM Punk was on there. Oh, but CM Punk has wrestled on Rampage. Oh, but Bryan Danielson has wrestled on Rampage. So what? So what? It's not supposed to be a ratings juggernaut at 10 p.m. on TNT. But I ask everybody, if TNT was supposed to put something else in that time slot instead of Rampage, would it be doing the numbers that Rampage is doing? The answer is no. Rampage is not going to be on 10 o'clock forever. They will be moving to a new night. They will be moving to 2 hours. It will eventually grow into the real second show of AEW. You'll have Rampage, the A show, or Dynamite, rather, the A show, and Rampage, the B show. That's eventually what it's going to end up being. But I don't necessarily think Tony Khan should take all of this and start battling WWE all because they're on FS1. He's like foaming at the mouth to beat WWE. What is the winner going to get here? A fucking slice of pizza? A pizza party? A gift card to Starbucks to buy the entire roster of fucking caramel macchiato? What is the winner going to get here? What is the big deal? The one positive about this is that Tony Khan is bringing awareness to Rampage. He's showing everybody that Rampage is important and will be important to AEW television. I love the petty back and forth on most days, but I don't think this is a good move by Tony Khan because he's only going to embarrass himself in the end, and he's going to make himself a target for all the fucking clueless hacks out there that want to hide behind social media and talk shit. No matter what they put on, I don't think they're going to beat WWE SmackDown on Friday night. Now, which is the better show? Tony Khan actually went out there and mentioned Monday Night Raw and said Monday Night Raw sucks. He legitimately reviewed Monday Night Raw. So with the extra half an hour, clearly he is in battle mode here, and he's being interviewed by various outlets. This one comes from Barstool Sports. Khan expanded on his thoughts ahead of this SmackDown Rampage battle, saying, and I quote, "It's the second time they've decided to go head-to-head with us. I don't know if that is the right terminology for him to use. WWE is not going head-to-head with AEW. Maybe the last half an hour, but they can't help being preempted. This was going to happen months in advance. Everybody knew WWE was going to be preempted on Friday night. Only the last half an hour is going up against AEW. WWE clearly recognizes AEW's competition. They will never admit it, though. But WWE, so hungry and desperate for ratings, all they want is to spare themselves the fucking embarrassment when the numbers come in the next day. And everybody realizes that this show pulled a terrible number. They want to do everything to combat that. I don't know if that was the right terminology for him to use. I want the fans to be able to watch all of the wrestling. I'll coin a phrase right now. Watch your wrestling. WYW. I want people to watch your wrestling. Whatever you want to watch, watch it. A lot of people have chosen to watch AEW because it's the best show. Watch your wrestling. I want people to watch everything. It's the second time that they've chosen to put their wrestling head-to-head with mine. The last time they did it, it didn't happen overnight. But from the start, AEW consistently did better numbers than NXT, and we eventually won that war, and AEW is now on the Wednesday night time slot, and Wednesday Night Dynamite has had a great run so far. On Friday, they're doing a half an hour head-to-head with Rampage, which is new. I put my show on after SmackDown knowing that there is a huge audience of people that watch that show, and a lot of people are going to watch Rampage, which has been a hit on TNT. Whether you want to admit it or not, it has been because TNT is very happy, and who the fuck are you to say anything else outside of what TNT cares about? They are happy with the numbers. They're literally going to do a half an hour head-to-head with mine. We'll see what happens. I'm not saying for sure we'll win, and maybe the odds are against us in some ways. They are. But we're going to do the better show. I know. If you don't believe me, watch the go-home show for Raw that they did on Monday night because it sucked. End quote. Well, he's not lying there. Tony Khan is spewing factual information in regards to Monday Night Raw. And he's even right about which is the better show. All these WWE fucking drones, these shills, these E-drones is what they're called on social media. They will go out and say, oh, SmackDown's the A show. Yeah, it is, because it's on Fox. That doesn't mean it's a good show. If you take Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar away from SmackDown, what do you got? Monday Night Raw 2.0 on a Friday night. That's all you got. Where we got Monday night on Monday. Now we're getting Monday on Tuesday. And then if Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar were not on this show, then you'd get Monday Night Raw on Friday night too. Everything's seemingly modeled after Monday Night Raw, which is the worst fucking wrestling show in the entire industry right now. SmackDown sucks. When Roman is not there, when Roman is not in something big, when Lesnar's not there, SmackDown sucks. There's nothing different about it. 90-second women matches. The one good thing that I took away from last week's show was Finn Balor and Cesaro because they're two great professional wrestlers. Everything else about the show is being mishandled. So when Tony Khan says Raw sucks, factual. When he says he's got the better show on both Wednesday and Friday, factual. Factual. I just wish he would go about this in a different way, but he's recognizing the problems of Rampage. Rampage has a lot of problems right now. And it's not really Tony Khan's fault. It's on a terrible time slot. It's on a terrible night. And the fact that it's a tape show, nobody's going to go out of their way and make Rampage appointment television like they do Dynamite because it's taped. Anybody can go back and watch these matches and enjoy it on their own time. They'll find out the winners online. They'll find out the winners on social media. Everybody's posting about spoilers. And then they'll go back and watch it when they got some free time over the weekend. It is not appointment television like it is for Dynamite. It needs to be live. It needs to be in a prime time slot. It needs to be on a night, not on Friday, when people are more likely to go out and maybe go to sleep because they got work the next morning on Saturday morning. They need to do something with Rampage because right now it's not in a good spot. And now you mix all of that with the MLB playoffs and NBA season starting and NHL and football, college football. It's a disaster. And this is opening up Tony Khan and AEW to be criticized, but most of these people don't know jack shit anyway. I just wish he went about it in a different way. But the one big caveat about all of this is the fact that he's bringing awareness to Rampage's problems and he's making it fun. I just hope that he knows what he's getting himself into because he's going to be a target from the social media mob. But Rampage is the better show. I, unfortunately, will not be watching it live. I'm going away this weekend. But I will be keeping up to date on everything that happens, and I will be DVRing this stuff because I'm interested in seeing Suzuki and Bryan. That's something that he's wanted. That's something that he wanted to go to Japan and do, and we're getting it here. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yes, Monday Night Raw sucks. TK even knows. TK, he knows what's going on. Now, speaking of WWE, WWE's adding Roman Reigns to Monday Night Raw in Long Island amid sluggish ticket sales. But I thought there was a draft. I thought Roman was drafted to SmackDown. I thought that there was a brand split that WWE has to keep in check. But I guess not. I guess the brand split doesn't really matter on November 29th. Or, I think it's November 29th when they go to Long Island. Yeah, November 29th. I guess the brand split doesn't matter on November 29th. Right, Bruce? Right, Vince? But this is the thing, and this is what you won't hear from the fucking idiots online. This is what you won't hear from the other podcasters in the community because they don't know any better. Oh, but they got to do something to bring awareness. Roman Reigns is their biggest guy. Why don't you want him to be used? Or whatever the fucking excuse is this week on why WWE Creative sucks. Ticket sales have been very, very soft for WWE. So the likely reason why Reigns is being added is to boost ticket sales. This show would take place just over a week after Survivor Series, and Reigns will be a part of the SmackDown brand. So wait a minute. Roman Reigns is the Universal Champion. He is on the SmackDown brand. WWE will be 1 week removed from the Survivor Series, which will pit SmackDown versus Raw. And you mean to tell me that there'll still be a reason why Reigns needs to be on Monday Night Raw per creative? Oh, I love that. I can't wait to hear the excuses about this one. A week ago, WrestleTix, the online account on Twitter, which is excellent if you guys want analytic details about ticket sales for these shows, reported that just over 2,700 tickets were sold for Monday Night Raw in Long Island so far. AEW Dynamite right now has over 7,300 tickets sold as of October 2nd, and they will be in the same arena that WWE is going to be in for the Long Island show at the UBS Arena. I can't wait to see the excuses. I can't wait. But you know what I always say? WWE would not be in this predicament if they actually wrote good television. Nobody's going to watch Monday Night Raw on a normal night. Normally, people have to digest it in pieces because it's so fucking terrible. Nobody, especially if you got a fucking functioning brain that works properly, nobody's going to pay money to go see WWE when realistically you get the same fucking show every single week. By the time November 29th rolls around, and we're going to have the draft go into effect next week, WWE will already be on their first phase of rematches going into this show. By the time you get to November 29th, I guarantee you'll see about 2 or 3 rematches on the show that you saw in the previous weeks leading up to this show. But WWE needs to sell tickets. You could sell fucking tickets if you actually booked a good fucking show. If you actually booked a good show that people would willingly want to spend their money on to go see live, then you wouldn't be in this fucking problem. WWE will never recognize that problem. AEW doesn't have that problem because their creative is much, much better than WWE. But Roman Reigns wants to make off-color comments about WWE coming into New York and running New York, right? Really? Long Island is a part of New York, if I'm not mistaken. So who really is running New York, Vince? Is it TK, who sold 20,177 tickets right here in Arthur Ashe Stadium? Is it TK, who right now is probably going to have a sellout at the UBS Arena? Who's running New York? Your fucking Madison Square Garden shows and your fucking pity attempts to get attendance here at the UBS Arena with Roman Reigns. Who runs New York? By my estimation, seems like AEW and TK is doing a much better job in the New York market than WWE is. Spare me the fucking excuses. Write better television and you wouldn't have 2,700 tickets fucking sold in an 8,000-seat arena. Speaking of Roman Reigns, he's the top merchandise seller in all of WWE, which is not a surprise to anybody. WWE is going to continue to stay the course with Roman Reigns, and there is no signs that it will be dropping the Universal title anytime soon. You can make 1-minute videos on me all you want, you fucking slobs. WWE is in a very sticky situation with Roman Reigns. Until people come to me with somebody that is legit enough to beat Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship, then I will admit that Roman Reigns should drop the championship. Until that happens, which by my estimation is not going to be anytime soon, shut your fucking mouth. Nobody is beating Roman Reigns. And if Lesnar beats Roman Reigns, you might as well just can this entire fucking storyline because the entire storyline is head of the table. You can't be head of the table without the Universal Championship. Lesnar doesn't need it. We've been through that same old song and dance time and time again. But WWE is in a situation right now where Roman Reigns is the top merchandise seller in WWE, and it's not even close. So with all of the merchandise, they are going on to say that he is a part of the all-time merchandise sellers amongst top heels in the history of the company. I don't know if I would give WWE that stat and believe it. They have a tendency to lie and embellish on all of their numbers. If WWE wants to tell me that he is one of the top merchandise sellers and he is doing John Cena-like numbers, then I would believe that because that shirt looks awesome and Roman Reigns' run has been incredible so far. But all time? Man, you got to be in some elite company to be all-time. I don't think Roman Reigns is an all-time merchandise seller. He's probably doing what John Cena has been doing, but I would not say Roman Reigns is in the all-time merchandise seller bracket just yet. I don't even think he's got the potential to get there because that's some pretty stiff competition, if you ask me. WWE released Bray Wyatt. He's been a big talking point ever since he was released, and his name is now being mentioned more and more and more. And Tony Khan actually addressed the Bray Wyatt AEW rumors. This was once again on WFAN here in New York, the Moose and Maggie show, and he mentioned Bray Wyatt or Wyndham Rotunda. Khan noted that while he thinks Wyatt is a great wrestler, they haven't talked about him joining AEW. He says, and I quote, "He's a great wrestler, and I gotta be honest, we haven't really talked at all. I've known him in personal life, and I've gotten to spend a little time with him, but as far as that, we haven't talked. I saw a bunch of rumors, but that's not something anybody's really talked about. I think you never know." End quote. Sounds like somebody who has a plan and doesn't want to reveal it, but he kind of expected the question to be raised, being that it's been a big talking point with Wyatt, Wyndham, and AEW joining forces here. Tony Khan is not going to let the cat out of the bag. I don't even think that Tony Khan could really negotiate with Bray Wyatt or Wyndham Rotunda until his contract is fully up with WWE, which will land him to October 30th, and then he can actually talk to with AEW from WWE, because he will not be contractually obligated to WWE anymore. Right now, he's still contractually obligated with WWE. They could bring him back if he so chooses to go there. He can't negotiate right now because he is still contractually tied to WWE. Once that is over, you're looking at Full Gear. It may be something that he sent feelers out there. Maybe he's got ways around the situation. Maybe he's deviating some plans by himself. We don't know what he's got going on. For all we know, he's come up with an entire spiel about how he wants to reintroduce himself and where he wants to go. All he needs to do is talk money, time, and debut date, and that's it. Who knows what this guy's got going on? Tony Khan may have his own plans in mind as well. He may have his own plan, Wyndham, on his own time. And when they join forces, everything will fit into the puzzle. We don't know. But Tony Khan cannot contractually talk to Wyndham Rotunda until his 90-day clause with WWE is up. But Tony Khan is not going to really go out there and say, yeah, we are definitely interested in Wyndham when his contract is up, his 90-day is up. That's going to be all over the fucking place, and he doesn't want to do that. He wants to somewhat keep it a little mysterious. He wants people to think, well, yeah, we have no interest in him, but I'll be open to talking to him when his contract is up. We'll see what happens. You never know. He's a great wrestler. I've spoken to him here and there, but nothing's really materialized. What do you want him to expect? What do you want him to say? Or what do you expect him to say? Yeah, we would love Wyndham. I can't wait to talk to him. We're going to talk to him when his contract. People are stupid. He's not going to go out there and do that. He didn't do that with Punk. He didn't do it with Bryan. He didn't do it with Cole. Why would you expect him to do it with Wyndham when his name holds just as much value as everybody that he's already brought in? Give me a break, people. WWE 2K22, their DLC, apparently has been axed because of the recent releases from the company. This is sad. A new report from Mike Straw of Sports Gamers Online noted that because WWE released several wrestlers over the past few months for budget cut reasons, it has hurt WWE 2K's DLC plans. It was said that a minimum of 4 released wrestlers on the August 6th date were slated to be DLC for the upcoming game. Former NXT North American champion Bronson Reed was supposed to be the centerpiece of one of these DLC packages. Fellow NXT stars such as Bobby Fish, Jake Atlas, and Leon Ruff, who were all released alongside Reed, will not be a part of this DLC any longer. Also, at least 2 DLC packages were scrapped over the last 4 months because of the changes to the roster. There have been internal discussions about switching to a roster update service instead of a DLC package release. WWE 2K is so far behind the 8 ball, not even with all of the recent releases, but they're so far behind the 8 ball, it is so fucking sad. You know, they're nothing but, and this goes for all the video game companies out there, they're nothing but money-hungry fucking gremlins, these video game companies. They want to sell you a fucking half-finished product, then they want to shill you DLC and expect you to buy a DLC for an obviously shitty fucking game. Why don't you fucking finish your game and make sure the game is as good as it could be and then sell me on a DLC? And why are we doing this DLC model? Everybody's now moved to a battle pass or a season pass. Why do we have to buy 4 extra DLCs at $19.99 or $14.99 on top of the fucking $60 or $70 game that you're gonna get from us anyway? How many DLCs do we really need? Do they drastically change the fucking game? I don't know why they haven't been doing a live roster update service from the start. I would much rather pay a one-time fee to have my rosters updated. It should be your fucking job to keep up on that. Entrances, theme music, looks, outfits, rosters, who gets drafted where, who's a free agent. Bayley's a free agent. Where's she going to end up? Put her on the Raw roster when she is drafted to a Raw roster. Asuka, she was on Raw. If she gets drafted to SmackDown, make sure Asuka's on the SmackDown side. It should be your job. That would be, in my honest opinion, a lot more manageable for 2K to do that than it would be motion capturing all these fucking people that nobody's ever going to play as and getting extra money for DLC that they don't really deserve. I don't understand it. They are so behind the fucking times. It's quite sad. I hope this game is good. I haven't heard a lick of anything different except GM mode coming back, because that was broken in the last big report about 2K. GM mode is coming back. I want to see how they fucked that up, too. I'm going to reserve judgment to see, but WWE, in typical fashion with 2K, is hyping nothing but the fucking graphics. I don't give a shit what it looks like. I want it to play better than the last 4 fucking games that I got. And AEW, they would be so lucky to have her. Aubrey Edwards. She actually has a fucking personality and charisma, whereas WWE referees do not. Aubrey Edwards signs a contract extension with AEW. Edwards has appeared with AEW from the very beginning, serving as the senior referee. And she's been there since the first ever AEW World Championship match in 2019. Edwards has continued to be a consistent referee for AEW major matches and major angles, and will likely be for the foreseeable future. Edwards appeared on the Into the Danger Zone podcast with Chris Denker. On the podcast, Edwards addressed fan criticism, but said that ultimately people within AEW are happy to work with her, and she's received a contract extension. She says, and I quote, "People have a lot of opinions of wrestling, but unless you're in the discussion about the match, you don't fully understand all of the things that are being talked about. Ultimately, if wrestlers I work with are happy and my bosses are happy, I got a contract extension this year, so clearly I'm doing something good. If those are the people that ultimately determine my future, and if they are happy, that's all that matters. Making other people happy on Twitter, that's just a bonus," end quote. She's also involved in AEW games. She is involved heavily with the Elite General Manager on your Android and Apple phones, and she will be involved with the new video game coming to next generation consoles as well when they need her. So she's got a big role in the company, and she is a great referee, man. She could be a little over the top, but I don't mind that, because we don't usually see that in WWE. Referees are a pivotal part, a vital part of everything that happens in that ring. You know, the job of a referee, you look at a referee and think it's an easy job. I can't imagine it being so fucking easy, man. It may be one of the most stressful things you could possibly venture off and do. She's got a lot of responsibility in that ring, and on top of that, making sure the wrestlers don't get hurt and being on top of anything, man. It's not a job where you can take your eye off something and just be lackadaisical with it. You got to be on 100% of the time. Referees don't get enough credit. They don't. And Aubrey Edwards has done an amazing job. Like I said, she could be a little over the top, but I like that, because every referee, and this is what I loved about AEW, every referee is known by name, and every referee has their own little quirks and charisma and personality about them, whereas WWE referees, I can't tell them one from the other. They all look the fucking same to me. They all sound the same. Everybody but Charles Robinson, Lil Nate. But this is why her father was, and probably is, the greatest pro wrestling referee of all time, in Earl Hebner. Aubrey Edwards is carving her own path, carving her own legacy, and it's a great thing to see. Awesome. Well deserved. Guys, I'm getting out of here. If you enjoyed this extra, which I don't know why you wouldn't, hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes. No AEW Dynamite review tonight, but I figured I'd give you this extra today to kind of make up for the lack of post-show on Wednesday night. Not my fault. Blame TNT and the NBA season. But if you did enjoy this video, please hit that thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys go check out all of the other content that you might have missed on the channel. Everything you need is on the homepage. And make sure you guys go check out my sponsor for today's video, joinhoney.com/offthescript. Once again, that's joinhoney.com/offthescript. Download the free web browser today and start saving some money with Honey. Guys, I may be back with another extra tomorrow, and then I'm taking the entire weekend off. You will not see me on YouTube until Monday Night Raw, unfortunately. But we'll worry about that when we get there, man. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I may see you back tomorrow with more extra right here on Off the Script. See you guys later.